Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us for NBA action on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan, alongside Coach Stan Van Gundy and Greg Anthony. And we've got David Aldridge, our Hall of Famer, patrolling the sideline. And here's the upcoming schedule for the Trailblazers. On Thursday, they'll be matching up with Chris Paul and the San Antonio Spurs. And then on Friday, they'll be matching up against Mike Conley and the Minnesota Timberwolves.
And that game against Memphis, it's one that should be a fun contest. The way the teams stack up against each other makes for some good basketball.
Let's take a look at our starters for Portland. They've got Denny Avdia, Henderson out there with Red Hot. Then there's Klingon, and it's Kamare in at the 3 spot. And for the Pelicans, in the guard spots, it'll be Murray and McCollum. Trey Murphy is out there with Zion Williamson. And it's Messi in at the 5 down low. For teams, Stan, that make coaching changes in the offseason, how long do you think it takes to fully implement your system, a coach's new system?
Well, that's an interesting question, Kevin. First of all, I don't think you ever fully implement your system. You're always adding to it. You're always tinkering with it. And for a new coach, what you're really doing is you're learning your team and adjusting your system as you go along to fit your talent.
And Coffee gets it to go.
For 3.
And the fireworks begin. Should be an amazing show tonight.
Yeah, and it's important to get that first score quickly and establish your game.
Murray, no good. Inside, here's Henderson, and he drops in the layup off the glass.
A little like Donovan Mitchell there. Henderson makes some really tough shots in traffic.
New Orleans gone 0 of 2 from deep here. Here's McCollum, and McCollum with the slam.
Okay, 2 hands for safety. That's what they say, right?
That's right. He was ultra safe with that dunk, no question. Well, Stan, after 11 seasons with this Blazer organization, Damian Lillard traded away in 2023. What a run he had for Portland.
Incredible, Kevin. Not only in terms of his scoring and his individual honors, but the success he brought to the team. While they didn't get over the top and get to the finals, they were a consistent winner. If you were a fan in Portland, you had a good team to come and watch for all of those years.
And it's the Pelicans with the ball. After the missed 3 from Red Hot, there's the pick. Murray against Henderson. McCollum left side. Trains it from beyond the arc. McCollum's got 5.
Well, he's around a 40% career shooter from 3. McCollum adding another 3 to his prolific talent.
New Orleans moving the ball around. Henderson against Murray. Excellent defense there from Henderson. Here's Coffee. Bangs home the trifecta. Coffee's got his 3rd bucket of the night.
And they are shooting the lights out from distance here early.
Pelicans trail by 6. McCollum feeling it out a bit. Off target on the 15-footer.
Well, and even though he couldn't get that one to fall, that's a shot they want him taking.
Here's Coffee. And another 3 for Portland.
3.
And you can tell he's looking for his shot. He just believes in it.
Well, yeah, and the defense is going to have to respond to that and chase him off the arc.
New Orleans is gone, just 1 of 4 from 3-point range here in the first. Pass to Messi. Murray against Henderson. Messi, and he takes the fantastic lead pass up strong for the slam.
Well, Murray's got a great feel of when to let that pass go in the pick and roll.
And Coffee gets it to go.
3 points.
12 straight points off of 3-pointers, and the D looks shell-shocked.
And so it's McCollum. He'll bring it up for the Pelicans. trailing by 10. They're coming into this game off that recent loss to Atlanta.
Really a disappointing effort. That game could have and should have been closer than it was.
Yeah, look, that's not the kind of performance they would have liked. But the one good thing about this league, the next game's always right around the corner.
And so it's Willie Green here calling timeout. This will give him a chance to discuss some potential alterations. A fantastic string of games for him. Your Western Conference Player of the Week, Red Hot.
And what can you say about how huge he has been for this offense? Everything he's done, from the scoring, the shooting, the playmaking, you take him out of the lineup, and there's no telling just how different this team looks.
Here's Boston. He's coming off a 22-point game against Atlanta.
Yeah, but he was the ultimate two-way player. Defensively, also doing a great job. A couple blocks in that game as well. The defense, a step slow, and you can see the results.
Pelicans trail by 16. Back to Alvarado. Pass to Boston. Looking to end the run. The Trailblazers pull it in. They are a hot team right now. 7 consecutive wins. And looking for number 8 tonight.
Well, I think they've found something. I like how they're executing. They're playing with a lot of energy. We'll see if they can keep it going.
Trailblazers leading by 16. Here's Coffey. From outside, off the mark. Olynyk the pass to Boston. And it's Alvarado in the corner. Connects from three-point range. And so it's the Portland Trailblazers looking at a 13-point lead heading into the next. And so far through one quarter, it's been a lopsided game. We'll see if that changes here in the second. And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for the Trailblazers.
Well, the thing about hitting early threes, it spaces the floor and makes things a lot easier offensively.
And also, given the game is more fast-paced nowadays, I like the way they've capitalized in transition, keeping their foot on the gas.
Here are the 5 Portland has to start the second quarter. Sharp out there with Denny Avdia. Then it's DeAndre Ayton. Then there's Red Hot, and it's Simons in at the point. Now the Pelicans have lost in the first round GA of the playoffs in 2 of the last 3 years.
And with how good the West is right now, they knew they couldn't stand pat. They felt the urgency to make some changes this offseason in order to take the next step.
A good finish at the rack off the slick feed. Now Henderson. Here's Coffey. Drops in the tray. Coffey's got 27 points.
Three-pointers are killing them at this point, and they haven't been able to respond at the other end.
Alvarado finds Olynyk. Here in the second quarter with a little over a minute gone.
Yeah, the passing is something Olynyk has really improved over the last handful of years.
Here's Henderson. And it's Grant in the corner to the middle. Here's Coffey. Boston grabs the miss. And we've got a whistle. The refs are indicating it's a transition take foul. It's going to be a shot and the ball. And he's got his first chance at the line here.
You know, this is not an area where they expect him to contribute. You know, he's a guy that shot below 70% last season.
So both teams changing it up here. Pelicans trail by 14. Second quarter, we're a little over a minute and a half in. Pass to Messi. Clock at 6. Going inside. Got a piece of it.
A good board there, Kevin, but overall they're getting slightly out-rebounded.
Time now to turn to our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. David.
Kevin, the Pelicans are putting the ball in Zion Williamson's hands. He said, I'm just playing chess within the game, seeing how the defense is guarding me. I'm going to pick my spots. My teammates trust me to make the right decision, but they also trust me to be me when that time is right. Kevin, I'll let you be you.
And I love when you are you, David. Thank you so much. Every year, Greg, we get a new batch of rookies into the NBA, and sometimes we're all guilty of judging them too early.
Oh, absolutely. I think we need probably 3 years to evaluate a player. You know, fans and media can be a little harsh at times, but not everybody develops at the same rate.
And so Chauncey Billups calls for the timeout. And coach has decided they need a moment to talk things over. Some changes for New Orleans. Trey Murphy comes in for Kelly Olynyk, and McCollum subbed in for Jose Alvarado. And the Trailblazers making a change here as well. Clingan, he's checked in for DeAndre Ayton. Got that one up quick. And that's now 33 points for Red Hot.
And how about the last 5 made shots have all been threes? The defense is just giving up a barrage.
You know, Stan, the Blazers started the rebuild process with the big Dame Lillard trade to Milwaukee.
Kevin, it takes guts for a GM to make a move like that, and it didn't go well early on. But they've got to trust the process and stick with the plan that they made.
A slight rebound advantage for them. One more column in their favor, and it's all adding up.
Gets it to go from beyond the arc.
Well, they just need to keep getting him the ball. He has been terrific this quarter.
And here's McCollum for 3. And it's Portland with the rebound. Last time they met was in Portland this season.
Yeah, they cruised to a win in these teams' last encounter, and their field goal percentage was off the charts. Another good play. This is how they built the lead, calling on the right guys at the right time.
Yeah, come on. They're just having their way out there and continuing to press the advantage.
Murray for 3. The rebound by Grant.
Well, he continues to make the effort, but the results just aren't there this quarter.
Here's Coffey. And again, it's the Trailblazers from deep.
Well, he's been very reliable tonight, not wasting any chances, really using his head.
Timeout called here. The Pelicans decide to talk it over.
And just trying to get some traction offensively. Boy, it hasn't been pretty.
Yeah, right now.
And so a pretty lopsided game for the first half. It's the Trailblazers running away with it. And we'll be back right after this.
48.
Hey everybody, it's halftime. Boy, it's been a rough go so far.
I think it's funny watching these guys play defense. This is a circus, and they're getting clowned.
Giving up too many. All right, let's switch it over. See what the fans are posting on social media. And that is it for halftime, folks. It is back to Kevin Harlan and...
And after a very lopsided first half, we'll see if things play out a little more evenly here in the second. You know, Red Hot has really been making it happen, guys.
Yeah, and just look at the numbers from the first half. He has been very efficient.
Yeah, it's not like he's getting everything at the rim. He's playing smart and just taking what the defense gives him.
In the guard spots, it'll be Murray and McCollum. Zion Williamson is out there with Trey Murphy. And it's Messi in at the 5. So that's the group out there for New Orleans. Here's Murray. It's tipped. McCollum outside. Fires for 3. Rebound by the Trailblazers. Klingen's got his 4th rebound in this one.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
I'll tell you, it's one thing to do this at home, another to do it in a hostile environment.
It sure is. They've certainly accepted the challenge. The trick now is to sustain this effort.
And it's Williamson missing.
That halftime break didn't seem to do them any favors, starting off the second half with 3 straight misses.
Henderson passes to Coffey. Banked in off the glass. Coffey's got 49 points in the game.
And he has just been in a flow offensively. Terrific game. He has been the X factor.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
And a wide open look for McCollum. Good, and the assist goes to Murray. McCollum's got 8.
Finally, they get one to drop. That's one of their first 4 here in the third.
And we've seen Stan DeJounte Murray prove for years that he is a 20-point player.
Yeah, and Kevin, he can score as a point guard or he can be off the ball. But the best thing about DeJounte Murray, he is a great two-way player, one of the best guard defenders we have in this league.
Andre Ayton's checked in for Klingen.
Substitutions. Number 2, DeAndre Ayton.
And we're just about 2 minutes into the second half now. And the call will be against Red Hot. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far. The NBA has always been a star-driven league, Greg, and that's reflected in team strategies now more than ever before.
It is. All over the league, teams now building their systems around their stars, surrounding them with complementary players and running the offense through them as much as possible.
And another one.
3.
He's been absolutely ridiculous in this game.
You get the sense he just can't miss.
New Orleans has gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break. McCollum with the ball. Now Avdia defending. Murray the pass to Williamson. And the Pelicans miss again.
Well, he wanted to return the favor there for that last 3, but it just wasn't in the cards.
3.
And with an update from the sidelines, let's check in with David Aldridge.
Kevin, thanks. For the NBA, content continues to be king. Commissioner Adam Silver says the biggest issue for streaming services is what's called churn. To cancel is just a click. So it's more pay for play these days. We have to focus on people staying with you and having great content throughout the year. Kevin?
Yeah, you know, he's doing a great job, isn't he, David? Thank you so much. For 3, Murray. And the Pelicans miss again.
But still, eventually you got to feel like he'll start knocking those down again.
Here's Coffey. A quick shot there, and it's off target. The Pelicans shooting 34% from the field. That's not going to get it done. So, Stan, I'm looking at this Pelicans roster. They've done a great job building through trades, signing kids off the street, and acquiring talent.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Kevin, that anyone's done a better job of putting together a roster so deep and talented. And as you said, they've done it in so many ways. Draft, trade, undrafted guys. Just a tremendous job.
Really something. No one near Williamson as he lets it go. Misses, and the dry spell continues. Henderson passes to Coffey. And again,
I can't believe I'm saying this. He's now second in 60-point games all time.
Tapping into his full arsenal, night in and night out.
And he jumped out to that ball.
Timeout called by Willie Green. He knows every possession is critical now. Greg, every year we have the Best Teammate Award. What are some of those qualities that you admire in a great teammate?
You know, Kevin, you want guys who make you better and who make it fun to come to work every day. In the end, teammates are like family. So trust, commitment, and just enjoying being with one another, it matters.
On the court right now for the Trailblazers. Clingan is out there with Avdia. Then there's Red Hot. Then there's Scoot Henderson. And it's Kamare in at the three, the small forward.
Late reaction defensively. He quickly takes advantage, grows their lead.
Yeah, look, the truth is, he doesn't need much space anyway. But that one was too easy.
It's McCollum with the drive.
Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it. Just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for Portland.
As one-sided as it gets today, you know, there were some dominant moments in about every facet of this game for that team.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, it's hard to think of what didn't go right for them. Game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was just on target.
And with this effort tonight, grabbing their 8th win of the year.
And once they polish off this win, they'll be one more victory away from sweeping the season series.
And one of the key components to this victory, if not the biggest, was the incredible performance for Red Hot.
He was doing everything right, and the points came in bunches. Definitely had the hot hand.
44 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Murray right side. New Orleans moving it around. 6 on the shot clock. It's hauled in by the Trailblazers. Here's Coffey. Good, another from 3.
And all game long, the threes have been pouring in for him. There is no stopping his shot.
And this is already a game he'll never forget. He's trying to make it a game that the world connects again from distance.
And of course it falls for him. That three pushes him into the history books.
Well, he is now tied for the most threes in a game. This is a night we will never forget. Murray looking around. And so Portland takes this one, but by a big margin. A resounding victory for them. And Greg in enemy territory, no less.
That's exactly right. But with the way they controlled the game and just completely took the crowd out of it, that's how to get it done on the road.
Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. So now for Greg Anthony, Stan Van Gundy, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.